Hello, story lovers. Children surprise and delight us, but there are plenty of occasions where adults question the intentions behind some of their strange behaviors. This young boy was one such situation, but with a weird twist. He decided for whatever reason that it would be a good idea to stick a pencil in his ear, except it was actually something much worse. Some toddlers and young children put small foreign objects into their ears, noses, or eyes out of curiosity. Why? They're experimenting with the world around them and learning what happens when they try different things. Louis King was definitely no longer a toddler, so no one, especially his grandmother, was expecting what he was about to tell them. The statistics show that children under 4 years old are the most at risk of inserting small foreign objects into their ears, noses, or even their eyes, but it seems that some of them don't outgrow the bad habit quickly enough. Some of the most common objects are foods, things like popcorn, dried peas, watermelon seeds, and chocolate-covered nuts. Louis opted for a tiny pencil stub, easy to go in, not so easy to get out, as he would soon find out. Louis began to cry and fuss with his ear when his granny couldn't find anything. He was picking up on her panic and the seriousness of having a foreign object lodged inside his head. She almost had to hold his hands down as he clawed at his face, panic making the pain inside worse. Sheila knew it was time to get to the emergency room. Sheila finally arrived at the hospital with the little boy in tow. Dr. Philip Russell was the doctor on rotation that day. He looked into Louis's ear, but soon realized he'd need much more sophisticated tools to identify where the pencil nub was. The boy's ear was completely blocked. Louis tried not to wriggle as the doctor fiddled inside his ear. It was a long wait without an unknown prognosis. The pencil was lodged so deep in Louis's ear that it took a lot longer than anyone expected to get the tool around it, but eventually Dr. Russell managed the nearly impossible. He told Louis to hold very still as he extracted the dangerous piece of wood and graphite from deep inside the boy's ear canal. As the object reached the opening of the boy's ear, everyone was stunned. It looked nothing like a pencil at all. "You've done a good job of it, I'll tell you that," the doctor comments to Louis on the sheer depth of the object. His granny looks on and shakes her head in dismay. "Is that all of it? Or is that just a part of it?" the doctor asks, and Louis responds with a divisive, "That's all of it, I think. Yeah, that's all of it." But the doctor wasn't satisfied with just Louis's word. "Let's have another look in your ear," he said as he tilted the boy's head again to complete the search. What we see inside left the doctor feeling very uneasy. He didn't seem too worried that the pencil in his ear was actually a whole battery. "That happens to look more like a watch battery to me," Dr. Russell questions the boy. "Are you sure it was a pencil?" And suddenly Louis isn't sure anymore. "I don't think it actually was now. Having a pencil lodged inside your ear is dangerous enough, and the risks are obvious, as Dr. Russell explains. The worst-case scenario is that it gets a deep-rooted infection and could affect his hearing, balance, coordination, and if left long enough, he could even go deaf with it." It was a lucky thing that the skilled doctor was able to find it and remove it entirely. What was weird and a little concerning was the boy thought a battery was a pencil, so we would have to ask ourselves, were the other objects that he put in his nose or in his ear that he managed to get out successfully by himself? Or was poor little Louis just afraid that he'd get into more trouble for a battery than a pencil? It doesn't seem like he'll be telling us any of his secrets anytime soon, but we sure hope he's learned a valuable lesson, even if just for old Granny's sake.